Hey, welcome to Toontyme, bringing you Newcastle United news and discussion. So after enjoying that performance yesterday, uh, now I think I calmed down a bit. I was really excited by what I saw yesterday, and there were certain things I wanted to talk about, but I forgot. Due to just listing all the things that I initially reacted to and saw throughout that game. But there was other things I wanted to speak about. It's like because I wanted to speak about the post-match interviews from both managers. Eddie Howe was talking about the um how the players had reacted well to going down, as well as they implemented his plan. They were brave, and and it takes a lot to be brave. It's helped by the crowd as well. It just kept the buoyancy up throughout the game, but still playing against a team of the caliber of Manchester City's to play in that type of way is dangerous defensively, and they showed that when they managed to equalise after being two down. So the fact that he still wanted us to keep trying to play on the front foot, well, not front foot, but try and press aggressively, and when it was time to counter in numbers and swarm them and attack the spaces that they kept leaving behind their fullbacks, especially. You could see that the players had been drilled all week and they were attacking in a tactical manner. It's that made everything really effective yesterday. So to see that Eddie Howe is continually trying to adapt the game plans for the opposition, it shows that the players can rely on him to have a plan for them, and you can see how the players are becoming more and more confident in their roles within the team, and they know what they're supposed to do and where they're supposed to be, where they're supposed to release the ball. And that as that continues to grow, that trust in each other will allow them to take the gambles that sometimes you see them not making, like not making certain runs into the box, or not trusting that if they make a run and it doesn't initially go to them, that it won't eventually reach them. It's those little details will eventually start to knit together as the squad continues to grow. And even though they've known each other for quite a while, they're in ways not familiar. You could see before he came the previous game plans, especially under the immediate previous manager, that at times everything was disjointed. Just playing all the men behind the ball and hope that for moments of magic or a bit of luck. There's none of there's those are elements of the game, regardless. That sometimes you need a bit of luck, a little bit of magic from your top players, but you can see that what Eddie Howe's trying to achieve, he's not relying on things like that. He's relying on a plan, a tactical way of playing. If things aren't working, that they'll make the adjustments throughout the game to either make certain that we steady the ship or we find other routes to go, and that's what I can see Eddie Howe's trying to drill into these players. Just drum it into their heads that if you follow the ideas that I'm trying to implement, you will have success. And after a game like yesterday, I feel like the harmony within the squad will be even greater, and the bonds are getting stronger between all the players and the manager. I also want to speak about Pep Guardiola's post-match conference as well. You could see that I felt like he enjoyed that game, to be honest. He had a little smile on his face that even though he probably felt like they've dropped some points, as they're trying to continue to defend their title. That was a really entertaining match, and Eddie Howe showcased the ability to go toe to toe with him, to attack and exploit the weaknesses within that Manchester City team, and trust his players to be brave enough to do it. So I feel like from what I saw of him, he enjoyed it when he was speaking to one of the reporters. He was saying like, oh, the reporter was saying that you didn't have as much possession as you normally enjoy, but he acknowledged that he's not playing Manchester City against nobody. He's playing against 11 other players. That they were in the game, and he had to acknowledge what they were doing. Right, that what we were doing, and that was great to see that respect that he has. I feel like he does respect every manager, but you could see that he enjoyed that match. The 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 fact that Newcastle recovered and his team had to recover that's what makes football great. Is when you see games like that where teams go toe to toe with each other, find ways to exploit each other's weaknesses, and having to dig deep when things are going against you. Those are the foundation of football. Being able to get through adversity, being able to fight, and battle throughout the game. It's just that's what makes great football matches. And yeah, I feel like he wants the rematch, and which is inevitable, but he's gonna really enjoy what happens when we have to go to the Etihad, and hopefully if we can produce another performance like that, it's gonna be a lot harder as we won't have St James Park behind the players, but I think the players are relishing those type of games, those type of tasks, and that's what you want them to do. They can't be fearful of facing strong teams. That's what you did to do. They've made it to the professional level, at the top level of English football. So you want to play against the best that are available, and that's what Newcastle is striving to be now, to be amongst that company. And it's a long road to go. We're nowhere near their level of quality, but you can see that those building blocks are slowly getting placed, and it's a matter of patience and time to see the club continue to grow. And it's in many ways that the club is growing. So we'll see. We'll see. You just have to be patient with everything that's happening. There's also some. I also want to talk about the performance impacting the attractiveness of Newcastle to transfer targets now. After seeing that anyone who recruitment team has been in contact with, they must have been impressed, and with the performance of their potential teammates, as well as what Eddie Howe is trying to produce. Players want to be involved in exciting projects, and you can tell that's what he's producing. That you're being a team that plays exciting football. It's you're gonna be asked to work really hard, but you're gonna be amongst players with a lot of talent, such as Maximin, Bruno, Joelinton, Wilson, Trippier, Batman, Shard, Pope. The list just goes on and on. And there's more to come. There's more players who we are targeting. So after that performance, I know players must see Newcastle as an attractive prospect now. I know they did after the takeover, so but it may have just been with some certain players that it may be a thing of, oh, the eyes are lighting up due to money. But after a game like that, they must see that it's about the product that's going on that pitch, and to be part of something like that, that you could be part of essentially, well, I wouldn't say the entertainers, but that type of football where you're going to be able to play at a high level, and you have to show high levels of skill and entertainment, and that's what football is. It's entertainment, and Eddie Howe's producing games where we can win and do it in style. We didn't win yesterday, obviously, but that's what he wants to implement. That's his mentality. Like he was speaking in the press conference on Friday, and he was saying that's what he goes into every match to do. He goes in every match to win. He didn't get it yesterday, but he finally broke his duck of not even getting a point against Pep Guardiola. So that was a great achievement for him, as it's very hard to beat that Manchester City team. And now he knows he's not that far from doing it. And hopefully we can do it this season by getting their away win, but we'll have to wait and see in terms of that. Also talking about how Eddie Howe drawing the Maximin out of Saint Maximin, and I feel like he's going to be able to do it. You can see that he's managed to connect with him. All that talk where people used to say that Saint Maximin's got a bad attitude. I don't believe that's true. I feel like he may be willing to challenge authority, but I feel like even if him and Eddie Howe have had those challenges behind closed doors, that's where it's kept. And Eddie Howe's explained to him what he expects of him and how he expects him to play going forward. And you can see that on the pitch now, that is slowly getting more and more ingrained into his style of play. That he can still showcase his dribbling abilities and his explosiveness, but he has to use it to impact the team positively. When he's taking on players, you got to drive in terms of how can I be effective? How can I draw this opponent that I've got in front of me into a space where I can create weakness in that defense? And that's what he was doing all day yesterday. He was running into the correct spaces. He was attacking at the right times. He was just being a menace, and that's what he's supposed to be for us against defenses. Not causing problems for us by losing the ball, by overplaying it, or making poor decisions in terms of passing. Those things are slowly but surely getting more and more eradicated from his game, and I feel that's what's happened on the training pitch, that Eddie Howe's just taking his time with him, making him understand that's what the best players do. They are a bonus to their team. They can be relied upon to make the best decisions, to create opportunities for their team to win. And I think that's what he sees now. He doesn't have to take on the whole burden by himself. He can share the burden with his teammates, and by sharing the burden with his teammates, then he'll get his opportunities to shine. Then he'll get his goals and his assists by being willing to release the ball, because they get it back to him. He's got to trust them, and you can see that's happening more and more, that he's trusting his teammates and making decisions that are beneficial to everybody. So, you can see his fitness has improved, his awareness has improved. He's becoming more resilient. Before, he does now and again be a bit petulant when he's knocked over, and you see him, he might get a bit angry, but more time than not, he'll get back up and he'll run back. Those little things are improving. The final the ball is improving. As you saw yesterday, he got 2 direct assists, and a third. It wasn't a real assist, but winning that free kick for Trippier's goal from the free kick it counts as an assist, according to fantasy football anyway. he's got more greater mobility. He's able to get up and down the pitch, even though he's not the greatest defensively. He's willing to run back now. He's willing to trap back and make certain that his fullback isn't just having the ability to double up on like Dan Burn or Matt Target. You know, he's helping his teammate out now. He's as well as trusting his teammates, which I've always spoken about, but you can see that's growing more and more. And if as that understanding grows, he'll be better for it. He'll have better opportunities to score goals and as well as get assists. And that's what he needs to continue to do, and it become the player he wants to be. He'll get into the French squad. He'll be one of the most dangerous players in the Premier League, as long as he continues to produce like he did yesterday, which I believe he can do. And what I felt like that's what Eddie Howe's really trying to drill into the team, that they have to trust and believe in one another. I remember seeing Sean Longstaff talking about how he had some issues, and I think he's seen a therapist or a psychologist now. But he said when Eddie Howe came, he made certain that the players knew Eddie Howe's story and how he has managed to reach Newcastle United, like everything he's gone through, and he made the players talk about their experiences in terms of their life story, and those things create those bonds that last and strengthen your trust in your teammates. You know, though you know where they're coming from, you know who they are, and I feel that like that's what Eddie Howe understands about the players, even though the professional athletes, they're humans first, and they have to know each other and respect each other, and through that they'll be willing to run through walls for one another, and they go through adversity with each other and work through it, and that's what he's trying to cultivate. Yeah. Finally, there's some transfer rumours. Supposedly Pedro's a go-go. Pedro from Watford is, according to numerous outlets, he's supposed to be joining Newcastle sometime this week. But there's also been reports that it's not true. So we'll have to wait and see as the week develops. There's been links to Jack Harrison. Supposedly a bid was made today for about 20 million, but Leeds rejected it, and it's unlikely they're gonna be accepting anything below £30 million, I believe, especially after his performance against Chelsea yesterday. I wonder if it'll happen. He's a good player. He's a hard worker, but I don't know how much he increases the quality of the right wing. But he does get quite a few goals, so I don't know. I've seen bits of him, and he's decent technically, and he really does work hard. He's got a good turn of pace. He's an interesting prospect. So I don't know what's going to happen with that, but we'll have to wait and see. There's also been links to Lucas Paqueta and a player from Borussia Mönchengladbach, Manu Kone. He's a 21-year-old centre midfielder, and supposedly a bid's been made for him, and it's been rejected. But that's from less reputable sources, so I'm uncertain. So yeah, that's it. So once again, thank you for listening, and wherever you are, have a good morning, afternoon, evening, or night. Peace.